Sorry.
Okay. Hi there. Welcome to My Other's Keeper. I've got Krysti here with me today, and we're going to talk neurodivergence, but we're going to keep it light. We're going to talk about the fun stuff. I know I've got some pretty interesting stories. But if you have something that you want to bring up, please put it in the comments. We would love to hear some of your funny stories about how your neurospicy, or how I call it my neurosparkly, works for you. Hey, Todd. Hey, Misha. Okay, you're going to go work in the background. Tried this all day. Okay, sounds good. And Todd says, hey, Cosmic. Okay, awesome. So, Todd, would you consider yourself somebody who has a neurodiversity? A lot of those of
Sorry,
us who
could
are
you
very
say that again?
creative are neurodiverse. So, yeah, it's just
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
I do. I'm very arty, but like one of my funny quirks is that I don't have a visual memory, so I can't actually come up with any art
Mm.
from my own brain, or it's just
Mm-hmm.
random. It's just but I can't. Like I
Yep.
can draw an apple, but it's not going to look realistic until I actually look at the apple. you know.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah, but because I can't actually picture an apple in my head, but I can describe it to you. Green or red with a leaf and a stem. Generally.
There you go. And usually kind of roundish. So,
Generally, yeah.
yeah,
A bit
always
like
been.
the bit,
Yeah.
bit like the planet.
That's right. Yes.
No.
Oh, it's
So
wonderful. We've got a few people here today. That's awesome. Hi,
just
Sandy
trying to see if I
Wandy.
can.
Nice to see you, everybody. So, Matrix says that he is neurospicy. So, how do you like to describe yourself, Cosmic? She is. Do you like to say neurodivergent, neurospicy, neurosparkly? What do you like?
I like all the funny words. But I generally say neurodivergent because I'm both autistic and ADHD.
Okay.
Um, I use everything with a bit of humour. So I say I've got the tism. um, which if you're an Australian, you'd remember from maybe the 90s and the early 2000s that there was a band called Tism. Now it's
Oh,
really funny. Yeah.
okay.
One of my favorite bands. If you ever want to look them up, just be warned, it's not child friendly or safe for work.
It's a little explicit.
It's
Got
edgy.
it.
No, yeah,
Edgy.
yeah.
Okay.
One of the
Okay.
one of the songs is about being a W with a fish. No, one of those anchors put together.
Ah, got it. Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. For a while
I
there, in my neuro spicy and just spiciness in general, I'd be sending that to politicians. What are ya? You're a boat thing. so,
see those of us in North America don't normally use that word. Many won't have ever even heard of it. I've heard of it. I know the word. It just took me a moment because I'm not used to hearing it. So,
yeah, well, I don't
yeah,
actually want to say it because I'm not sure what the algorithms are, and I'm trying
you
to be
know
a good
what?
girl.
We're not monetized anyways. So, the word is wanker, and
Wanker. Yeah.
yeah, and it means somebody who is pleasuring themselves. Is that not correct?
Well, that's
That's
I would
kind
say
of
the
the
technical term. That's the
okay, okay,
action, but I'd say
okay.
the actual meaning when you're describing a person is a bit of a bell end, bit of a
Mm,
tosser. I'm using all the English words trying to not come up with the Aussie ones because the Aussie ones are a lot worse.
that's
And not
okay.
very
That's okay.
a bit of a loser in a way.
Yeah.
So
Somebody who's acting like a bit of a
toss,
no
eh,
brain jerk kind of
yeah, a
thing.
douche canoe. I call them a douche canoe.
That's a good one. That's a good, yes, a douche
Yeah.
canoe.
so
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
But on our subject today, I just thought that if we keep it light, then maybe, we'll find out that, the neurodivergence, while not a superpower, isn't always a bad thing as well.
It's not always scary either, right?
No,
Like that's the thing is,
no, it's really not scary. And actually finding out about it, finding out, having my diagnosis, I'm the sort who actually needs a diagnosis. For me,
hmm
self-diagnosis was not enough, even though, and I couldn't even tell anyway. Half the time I
hmm
had people telling me. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. And then my daughter got diagnosed. her doctor was like, you should look into that. And then a few months
Hmm.
later, I had the same diagnosis. And it's actually made things a little bit funnier because now I look for the humor in it rather than always wondering why things are so hard. You know, like,
Yeah,
yeah. So I have this thing called
absolutely.
hypermobility, which means that I have a weird
Oh,
move. I've got strange movement. Like, one, I'm always fidgety, but I don't think that's got anything to do with the hypermobility.
okay.
But it's
Okay.
like I move strange. I sit in chairs strange. I have no spatial awareness. I cannot walk through a door. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly, I either hit one side or the other. I'm always bruised up because
Mm-hmm.
I'm falling over and all that sort of stuff. And I just think it's
Yep.
hilarious. It's the most funniest thing ever. Like, because I fall gracefully. So I can see it coming. And so I'll be there, I'll be like,
Yep.
and just fall. And so by the time I get to the ground, I'm already laughing. So, yeah, but it's funny because my carer and my support workers all come running. They're like,
Yep.
"She's down,"
Well,
and
see,
now
the funny,
I'm
well,
of a certain
yeah, now
age.
you're of
It's
a
a
certain age. Yep.
yes, it's not falling over. It's called a fall. I'm having
Oh,
a fall.
a fall. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
over 40, it's a
I'm having,
fall. Under 39, you've still fallen over. So just fall over as much as you can.
until
Under
you're
40s,
40.
because after that, it's a fall.
Yeah. Yeah. Misha says she's always been called a bull in a china cabinet. I've only heard it as bull in a china shop. When we used to go picking, Bradley would make sure there was no glass, or he would go in for me, shake my head. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I've always been a klutz. I've told students, coworkers, anybody who's around me on a regular basis, you will see me show up with bruises. My husband doesn't hurt me. I walk into doors. If I say, a lot of women who've been abused will say, "Oh, I walked into a door, or I fell down the stairs, or whatever."
Funny
I'm
story.
just like,
I
no,
was
no, no.
getting
I
abused,
Yeah,
and I said
and it's
exactly
not
the
what you
same
would say.
thing. He was standing next to me, and I was like, I walked into a door as he was standing
Yeah,
next to me because I'm like, I'm not going to lie for you.
that's
but
right.
but every other
Absolutely.
time, I'm all covered in bruises. I'm like, it's me, but they don't
Yeah,
believe me. But I
absolutely.
still think
Yep.
it's funny as that
Yeah.
well, maybe not funny for me. It's funny. Everything is that
Ironic. Yeah.
ironic. Probably it's a better word.
Yeah.
But I know irony as well as Alanis Morissette. Not at all.
Yep. Yep.
I'm always asking, is that ironic or is that just funny or is that like just a coincidence? I don't know. What is it? Then I
Ironic.
have to look up
Being
irony.
ironic is frequently funny. Like just irony in
Yeah,
general is frequently funny.
yeah.
So,
But it's I always find that the falling over thing's quite funny when I do it in public, especially now I'm my age because you get, are you all right, ma'am? I'm like,
oh, ma'am.
ma'am. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm fine, thanks.
Yep.
I'm just down here having a look, have a look at the view from the Hobbit angle. But it's just what I, but yeah, and also there's another funny quirk which I just thought of
Mm-hmm.
is that I've always got three drinks, right? I've got a water elsewhere, but I've got
Right.
coffee for
Right.
caffeination. I got Coke right now for flavor because I can't find anything else, and
Right.
I don't have sugar in my coffee anymore. I just leave it for this, and I've also always have water for hydration.
There you
So
go.
it's a
Yes.
very common ADHD trait to have multiple drinks on the go wherever you.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I just
Okay.
thought that's really strange because I've always done it.
I usually only just have one really big one. So,
Yes, and
it's not multiple, but
straws.
there's lots of it. Straws.
Yes,
Definitely
because I don't.
straws. Yeah.
I'm also bad with spatial awareness. The amount of times I've got drink up my nose, so I always I'm always terrified of having a drink on camera because I'll be like, this is going to be the time when it happens, and people are actually going to see it. or I'm drinking a drink and someone says something really funny and I laugh and it comes out my nose.
Oh yeah, I know. Yep. It's like, don't make me do that.
There's
Oh, it hurts so
multiple
badly.
drinks. Yeah, alcohol
Oh,
hurts the most, but um,
carbonation.
Coca-Cola, yeah.
Yep. Oh,
But
that's so
if
painful.
anything that burns, so
Yep.
I've learned to be like,
Ugh.
and then stop reading and then have a drink and be like,
Yep.
because otherwise I'm just gonna out my nose. So,
I tend to choke. I tend to forget to breathe. So
oh,
yeah, who forgets to breathe? I mean, really now. But
well,
no, I will forget to breathe, and then I will just breathe at the wrong time and choke on whatever's in there. Crystal says
now
she
I'm too
always
scared to
has
have a drink.
multiple drinks. So, yep.
Didn't die.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
So, can you think of anything that you find funny from your experience?
oh,
I'm just going to
goodness.
go off camera for a little because I got to go get in the car, but I'll be
Okay,
driving and ready to talk still.
perfect.
Oops,
Okay,
wrong button.
so for me, um, it, yeah, Misha can't eat without choking. So
I'm
it's frustrating, isn't it?
not
When you're trying
laughing
to breathe
at
at the
you, I'm
same
laughing
time.
with you.
That's okay.
So,
I don't mind laughing.
sorry about that, seeing that my nose.
That's okay. That's okay. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, like I actually tend to wear a lot of wait a minute clothes. So I'll walk by something and I'll have my sleeve will hit the knob on the door, and it'll be like, ugh, wait a minute, stop, wait. That happens all the time. So I just tell people I'm wearing wait a minute clothes.
I've lost my
Yeah,
handbag. This is
and
this
I
is
tend
another
to leave
aspect
things
of
a lot too.
ADHD. Yeah.
Yep,
I just
lose
like, oh
things
no,
all
it
the
was
time.
right in front of me.
Yep. I'll go through a store and I'll be looking for something, and I will look at every shelf down the entire aisle, and I will have walked past what I am looking for 5 times. And it's
Oh
like,
my
okay,
God.
I'm blind and I know. So I'll go to a person like a worker for the store, and I'm like, okay, please tell me where this is. I said, I may have walked right past it and not seen it because I'm blind. Like, just,
I
it
say exactly the
happens.
same thing, except
Yeah,
for I now go up to the person rather than keep looking, so I don't feel silly when I've already walked
yeah,
past it 5 or 6 times. And it's
that's
also
true.
quicker because I'll forget what I was looking for and get distracted by something else and be like, oh
Yes.
yeah, I need that, and then walk past what I actually needed and walk out of the shop, haven't got anything on my list because I left the list at home.
I don't have my phone with me. We actually have an app on our phone, and it's called Cozy,
Oh yes,
COZI.
I have
Are
that
you
app.
familiar with? You do too?
Yep.
Okay, so that's where we keep all of our lists of groceries, and then everybody can add to it, and all of our schedules and everything
Well,
like that.
we tried that
Um,
app and like
yeah.
me, my carer, and my friends, but we forgot about it. So I
Well,
still get the email saying that I don't have anything on that day. I'm like, oh yeah, cool.
no, we use it, and I live my life by that. If it's not in Cozy, I don't know that it's happening. And
Yeah, I
that's
use
something that,
whiteboards
mm, yeah, but I
because
don't have a whiteboard in my car, so
yes,
that makes
yes,
it
yes.
tougher. And
That's
and
that's
knowing my daughter's work schedule is not always easy, and that sort of thing. So that's a that's a whole nother kettle of fish there. Yes,
yes,
cozy.com. That's right.
yes. I've got the app, and we usually put my
Mhm.
appointments in because that way everyone can know, including all the support services, can know that I've got
Absolutely.
an app appointment for that day.
Yep.
I haven't actually used it for shopping lists, but we might have to now that we're all living in the same house. Sorry about all the extra noises. I'm trying to adjust.
Well, that's
I can't
okay.
remember how to do things in my car.
Yeah.
It's I've
Crystal
forgotten
says,
how to
yeah.
do stuff.
Ah. So
It
Crystal says,
happens.
yep, you got to know the family schedule and what you need to know as well. And that's exactly right. I need to know, like, even Crystal has started making it into our schedules, because I go with her to some of her appointments. Not all of them, but some of them. And it's just like, okay, I can't be doing this at this time because I'm with Crystal at this appointment. So she makes it into our appointment making as well. So yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well see, that's what they did it for because I'm the worst one for it. Nah.
Ah, yay. Oh, hey, you have a nice little setup in your car. That's cool.
Yeah,
when I'm
well, I won't be looking at the camera very much. Not if I do, I'm
no,
actually looking.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I can't.
you'll exactly. You'll be looking into a ditch. Um, okay, so Misha is trying to get in the habit of using Notion. It has whiteboards, calendars, to-dos, templates, collabs, and so much more. Well, that is so cool. And Misha says that Krysti or Cosmic is on the wrong side of the car. Well, it depends where you are.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay.
Once again,
So,
it's blower. Get written down on my
yeah.
list. Forgot the list. Blower's inside. Let's go back and get the blower. It takes me about half an hour to leave the house because I get ready well before. Like I've been ready since about 6 o'clock this morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but still, and this is why I try and leave everywhere at least half an hour early because I'm likely to have to go back in the house 5 or 6 times.
Yes. Yeah.
Blower. See, I forgot what I needed by the time I got in here.
What time is it where you're at right now?
It's 20 past 10.
Okay.
Yeah, in the morning. So I've got my appointment at 11. So I've got to get there. But that's poor time management once again. Is you know. So if anyone just keep talking in the chat because otherwise I'm gonna forget what I'm doing.
So
how's everybody
when pardon?
How's everybody else's time management?
For me, I am basically time blind. So like I said, I live by that little thing on my phone, and it will say, okay, you need to do this, and then I'll set myself an alarm. Okay, I need to do this, and I need to do this. My husband is frequently late for things, even though he has the same app that I do. So I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, he's and he isn't neurospicy.
No.
He is generally the most neurotypical person you'll want to meet. So that's kind of wild.
Because you've got a common ground there.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Yeah. Coffee, water, sea, water.
There we go.
Yes. Okay. Try again, shall we? I've also got to stop at the petrol station. I'm going to be late to.
Uh-oh.
I'm always late for everything. Don't worry, I'm playing by the rules.
Good.
Sorry.
And Misha, don't worry about how much you talk. It's okay. It's nice to be able to have this conversation amongst numerous people. Yeah.
There we go. You're back.
Yes. Yep.
My radio wanted to play, and then everyone would hear. Yeah, I'd be at the lights, and everyone would be like hearing your voice. It's always awkward.
Okay.
So
there's a YouTube that talks about time blindness perfect solution. Interesting. Okay. There's
there's a lot of apps too that are AI that are meant to help you with.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going through a bad section, I think. But
yeah,
there's a lot of AI apps that are meant to help.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crystal has been off work for disability
I might turn
for the
the
last month
camera
or two. Okay. And while she's been off, she hasn't really looked at the clock to know what time it is. She just goes with the flow. And that's a really nice, for a lot of people, that would be very stress-free. But then there are the people for whom not looking at the clock would be stress-inducing because it's going to be, what time is it? What am I supposed to be doing? And it's the woulda, shoulda, couldas. But
it also depends on what's happening on the day. Like if I know that I've got something happening at the end of the day, I'm stressed until that appointment. I like everything to be at the beginning of the day as much as possible, so I'm not waiting.
Yeah.
Because the more I wait, the more I'll end up getting distracted and possibly miss their appointment because the stress of waiting makes me need to be distracted. And then I get, I'll go down a rabbit hole of why some planet does something or something like that. It's just something ridiculous. It's got nothing to do with anything, but that's purely why. It's a distraction. And, and I feel like sometimes the world could make it a lot easier for us all if they make things happen early in the morning, because that's when we're generally all at our best.
No, so I won't agree with that.
Oh, really?
I am not at my best first thing in the morning. I am really great in the middle of the afternoon. So early in the morning,
I guess it depends on your meridians or whatever what are those things are called? The rhythms that you sleep by, and some people are different. And we're not meant to sleep all the way through the night. Back in the days before we had a light, we would sleep when it got dark, and then we'd wake up in the middle of the night, have a feed, have a bit of a party. That's when babies were made, and then go back to sleep and wake up at daylight. Because all they had was a fire. So I just think that's kind of what I do. Although, not that making babies, let's just leave that out of it. It's just that I'll go to sleep.
Practice.
Yeah, I'll go to sleep, and then a few hours later, I'll wake up, and then I'll do some stuff, because I can't go back to sleep really easy. So I just forgot to stop at the petrol station. That's all right. There's another one up here.
So Crystal says she thrives on schedules. So when she's not off of work, so when she's at work, her days need to be very structured.
Yeah.
And, that's a lot of people, especially neurospicy people, need an actual external structure, because coming up with it in our head is just too difficult.
Yeah, and I find it a lot easier if someone else makes me a schedule, and I can stick to that a lot easier than actually doing it myself. Because if I do a schedule myself, I feel like, I decided that I could do that, then I can just do it again later. It doesn't matter, because I made the decision. If I'm sticking to somebody else's schedule, then I will try and stick to it as much as possible. Excuse me, I've got a cough. I just inhaled some fluff from my jumper. my poncho.
Oh no!
Oh, that's right, I'm fine. I'm just being dramatic. So,
fluff is never a good thing.
No, it wasn't fun, I gotta say. But I also find that if we can be successful if we keep doing things that make things easier to be successful. If we set ourselves up to succeed. We were talking about whiteboards and all that sort of stuff, That's my way of succeeding, and little notepads and a pen on me constantly. I mean, I'll still forget the list. But, I can write stuff down as I think of it again, and
so at some place in your brain, it's somewhere in there. It's somewhere in there. And that's actually, I wiggle around in my chair a lot. You'll have noticed that over the last several months.
I do it too.
Part of it is my butt gets tired, my butt gets sore, so the butt bones. Yeah. I'm a big girl, but I have a bony butt. Go figure. Anyway,
I've lost a lot of weight recently, and if I could just put it back on my butt, I'd be happy, because it's gotten uncomfortable to sit down.
I know.
It's just I have to have 2 pillows, and I'm like Princess in the Pea. I can feel everything.
Absolutely.
But and I feel like if we treat our children, our neurodivergent children, the same way, as in set them up to succeed, as in quiet environments or whatever it takes for your own little person or people to succeed, you'll have a lot less of the oppositional defiance come up, because that's a learned behaviour. So the more you say no to a child, the less effective it becomes. So that's one of the reasons why those who go through a lot of trauma and who don't even feel safe to ask, so they know it's a no already. They learn, they grow up to rebel, and you'll end up see that these kids are just so sick of towing the line and doing the right thing by whoever their abuser or whoever their trauma creator is, that they never will ever put themselves in a position where they have to listen to someone ever again. And that's where I'm at, is I will never again let anyone talk to me like I'm a lesser human being. And I wonder, why did it take me so long to get here?
Well, Because you have a big heart and you want to think the best of everyone, and you want to accept everyone even when they aren't acceptable people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
but I
you
don't
just
think I'm
want
any
to.
special in that. I think that's true of most people, isn't it? And most people
Mm,
have a big heart and really want to accept people. I just feel like,
no,
you don't think?
no, no. Certain areas of the world, yes. There's something called warm culture versus cold culture. You live in a
Okay.
warm culture, and a lot to do with the temperature of the actual place where you live has to
Oh,
do with
yeah.
if it's a warm or cold culture. Warm
Doesn't feel very warm
culture
right
is
now.
very outgoing, very family oriented, very community oriented because people are outside all the time. You're
Oh,
always
yeah, that's
around
true.
these people. Whereas those of us who live in places where for 6 months of the year we're in our houses by ourselves wearing a coat, we tend to be more insular. We tend to be less outgoing, less friendly per se. Um, we are, I am very different in that because I work or I have worked with a lot of warm culture individuals, being from African countries or Middle East or, South America, whatever, so I've
Hmm.
worked with all of that. It is not normal in cold cultures when you arrive in a room, first of all, in many, not all, but many warm cultures, the first thing you do is say, "Hi, how are you? How's your family?" And then you
Yeah.
wait for the answer. And you say that to every person in the room. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a warm culture thing. Cold culture, no way. You are
Wow.
in that room, you are there on time, and you shut up, ready for the meeting. Simple as that. So, in your culture, absolutely you are the norm. But if
Wow.
you're to come to North America, you would find us very cold people in a large extent. Um,
I thought the majority of America was warm. Like,
nope.
not including Alaska. Mm.
No, it's actually it's like I said, it is not cold necessarily, but it's cold culture. Europe is also the same way. A lot of Europe being in places that are not necessarily always warm. You find it most frequently in places where you have, say, 4 months or more of winter. So that's the yes, Crystal's right. We ask more about the weather than we ask about family. Absolutely, and we have 18 different ways to say cold. Um, and yeah, it's just one of those things that warm culture, you will be more family oriented, more community oriented, more um, less time oriented. And I'm not talking time blindness. I'm talking if I had a friend who lived in Brazil for a number of years, and she was talking about being invited to a birthday party, and the birthday party was supposed to start at 6 in the evening. Well, if you're from Canada or United States or a lot of other cold culture places, 6 in the evening, you are there at 6, 10 to 6. Some people, it's even quarter to 6. And that would be rude if you were there late. Well, in a warm culture, in that particular culture where she was in Brazil, people didn't even start showing up till 8 p.m. They started getting ready to go at 6 p.m. It's like, okay, why bother saying something starts at 6 when in fact it's not even gonna look like it's starting till at least 8? So that's a very big difference between warm and cold culture. Um, so yeah. Crystal, how do you deal with your neurospiciness? Tell me a couple funny stories about your neurospiciness that I think we would have a lot of fun being able to talk about. Sometimes being neurospicy is not fun, but I think it's really important for us um, to find the fun, to find the positive in a situation. So, for example, um, hmm, Oh, gracious. I'm trying to think of an example. An example of my neurodiversity is as soon as I am told to think about something, it totally flees my brain. It's almost like my brain is saying, I don't think so. So I don't know what that is exactly. I don't know what the name for that is, but I do know that it's part of, yeah, Crystal, you can't think of anything off the top of your head either. Yeah, it just like an hour ago, I could have told you 10 things that were funny or just part of who I am and what's different about me compared to other people. But if you put me on the spot and ask me specifically a question, I can't seem to come up with it. I don't know why. It's really annoying. I will know something down pat, and I will know exactly how something is done. I will know completely the answer. But as soon as, usually it's my husband because he's the one usually asking me a question, it'll just totally go from my brain. I will have just had a meeting, say, with a doctor, and I will, like if it's an important meeting, I will, ask if I can record it so I don't forget. Or I will make sure Doug comes with me so that he remembers and makes sure that the questions that he wants asked are asked. Because
I'm still here.
Yep, hey Cosmic.
I'm just getting fuel.
Okay. He'll ask me about what went on at the appointment, and I will go, I don't know. I know that we had an appointment. I know that the overall feeling of the appointment was good. I know that the overall result of the appointment was fulfilling.
It's like when you ask a kid what their day at school was like. They're like, yeah,
exactly.
It was alright.
Yeah,
What did you do?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, I really don't. It's not that I'm trying to avoid the answer. It's just I really have no idea. So, but part of my neurospiciness is also being able to do this type of artwork. I just put this up today. You will have seen the pink painting that I have until very recently. But this one, instead of being just a pour where you tip around and get things going, you actually put the strips of color and then you have a palette knife and you swipe. So and I did it so that when I swiped, I wrecked the outside of it a little bit, which is simply taking a skewer or something like that. And so my type of neurodivergence is to look at a blank wall and be absolutely horrified with how boring it is. Whereas going to an art gallery, I also find very boring. I don't know why. If it was full of this type of art, like something very creative. Thank you, Crystal. I'm glad you like the new art. But if it's something like that, then I engage with it. If it is something, if there are pictures that are painted or drawn that are photorealistic, I engage with that. But if it's a picture similar to how I did my painting the other day, which in my humble yet accurate opinion was extremely amateur. I mean, like it was horrible. Like, yeah, I am really not happy with that. But I can fix it, or I can paint over it, or whatever. But you will see art like that in art galleries, and it'll supposed to be this beautiful example of this type of art. And it's like, honey, it's a beautiful example of somebody in grade 5 with no perspective. And that may sound like a snob. I hope not. But I expect more of myself, more creativity from myself, more accuracy from myself. And that's why I started doing pouring, something, the word has escaped me.
Art?
Art, yes, but
Acrylic.
no, random, like
Oh yeah. So it's like I know what you're talking about. It's
Abstract. That's the word I'm looking
abstract.
for.
That's the one. Yeah. I was
Yes,
getting.
that's
I
the
was.
word.
I was just trying to think who's
So,
abstract. I was thinking Picasso. I was like Picasso. And I know it's not the right
yeah,
word.
Picasso was excellent.
Yeah.
Picasso is a perfect example of abstract art.
Yeah. I love his
Yeah,
faces. means,
yeah,
means if those faces are considered beautiful, everything is. So.
I know. You have to wonder
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah, no, but that was his Cubist period. He was
Yes.
also excellent at doing different types of oh, I can't remember.
Sorry about the
Reminds me
noise.
of linoleum, but a
Oh,
linotype or a
yeah, lino
mm,
prints, like lino
lino print.
carvings. Yeah, I
Yeah,
used to do
so
that
he
as
was
well.
excellent at that. Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
love that stuff. Oh man.
the art gallery in Saskatoon has a very large collection of Picasso's linotypes or lino art things.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
I
it's
know
amazing.
I know the term for that too. We call them lino prints. That's what we did at school. We did lino printing. We just got this big
Hmm.
tile and we carved it up and did a whole bunch of printing. And the
Yeah.
Australian flowers are really, like our native plants, are really good for lino prints. That's how a lot of ours are done. I wish I
Ah,
knew what
okay.
I can't think of the actual right term right now. It's so fascinating. And I wonder, like, there's a thing, I know it's like or something like that. It's where the word's just at the tip of your tongue.
Yep.
I think it's
Lithograph.
no.
It's a
Oh, that
lithograph.
it is lithograph. Ha! I was actually talking about the word that where that means that the word there's something at the tip of your tongue, but you just can't quite get it out. But you can.
Oh, I see. I see.
I think it's something like that. Litholigate, something like that. I don't
It's called this. It's
know.
like
Yeah.
this. It's something
Yeah.
like that. So
For
yeah.
me, it's called making up a whole new word.
And that's the fun part, isn't it? We get to do
Yes.
all kinds of things and make up words, and as long as it accurately describes the event, the feeling, the situation, the whatever, then
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it's
like elevators is an uppy downy room, and
exactly.
then
Yes.
escalators are the moving stairs because I often can't
Yes.
think of things, and the
Yep.
clothesline is the washy place. I've got words for
The drying
everything, but
the drying place.
yeah,
Well, I've heard it called a clothesline or a drying line.
drying
So
line. Oh,
those are
that's another
accurate.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
because see, everything's accurate. It's just that someone's come up with a word to define it in one way. Someone
absolutely.
is just.
Yep.
I'm so glad I can hyper focus on driving. So I'm talking, and also this
Yes.
person in front of me just merged wrong illegally, and the one
Oh.
behind me did
Oh no.
too. Yeah, I'm just
Oh
there like
no.
paying attention, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, Queensland drivers are ridiculous. I mean, you go down to New South Wales, you expect them to be crazy. You come up to you drive around in Queensland, and
What area would you find Brisbane in? What province is that?
it's Queensland. So it's the state of Queensland, and it's kind of the southeast Queensland. So it's on the
Okay.
lower edge of the east side, yeah. Oh, like in
Okay.
Queensland, it's kind of like in the middle. Yeah, it's a temperate
Okay.
zone. It's quite pleasant here. Like even though it was cold last night, it's a sunny day. It's really nice and warm, and it's a beautiful
Nice.
day. It really is.
What may I
So, and
ask?
it's
Let's
a beautiful
tell
day to
me
be talking to my mates.
how far away do you live from Brisbane?
I depends. It depends on the
Oh,
method
okay.
and the road. So if I want to go
Fair.
through tolls, I'm about 40 minutes from the city.
Okay.
But I'm in a place called Ipswich. So,
Okay.
which if any Australians would know that it's a great place. It's great. Hope you can hear the
Okay.
sarcasm there. No, but honestly, any
Great
any
place.
place is great. It's awesome. But I actually don't
Yeah.
mind it. I haven't lived anywhere that I really dislike because there's
Oh,
good and
good.
bad in every place.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Absolutely.
there's houses I've disliked, but actual towns.
Hmm.
I mean, there's good and
Yep.
bad people. There's good and bad situations. I don't know. It's just, it is what you make of it. And if you think positively, majoritively, then
Exactly.
most places are going to be nice, and you'll mostly meet nice people.
Yes,
as far
yes.
as I think. So,
And even
and
if
I'm
they're
very
not
lucky to have
nice
done so.
people, even if they're not nice
Yeah,
people, frequently, if you are nice to them, you will bring out the nice portions of that person. You know, the portions that are
yeah. Well, it seems that I've
less
done that a couple of
rude.
times with the
Hmm.
thing that's funny. Another thing I think is funny uh, is that I can't read people very well, so I can't tell when they're trying to be mean.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I'm
That's a
probably going to
big
have to go
autism
because I
thing.
think my service, yeah,
Okay.
I think my service is going to cut out in a minute. So I'm really
Okay.
sorry once again.
That's okay.
So now this time of day on this day, it's not a good time for
Yep.
me because this is the day. So, but as I said, I let you down last time. I couldn't do it again. So, and
No, that's not a
it was
problem
nice.
at all. Well, I'm glad that we were
Well,
able to
I like
connect.
having these light chats. Yeah, me
Yes,
too.
yes, me too.
So,
All right.
just
Enjoy
random
your
stuff.
appointment. Okay. Enjoy
Thank you.
your
You
appointment.
too. You might
I'll talk to you again.
you might have you might have to log me off so that I don't have to touch my phone because I'm at the lights
Will
and
do.
I can't pull over
Okay.
just there. All right. Thank
Yep.
you.
Bye-bye.
Love yous. Peace.
And I'm going to remove you from the studio. There you go. All right. So we're only about 40 minutes in. Is there anybody who would like to come on and talk about their neurodivergence? Misha, if you would like to come back on, that would be great. Crystal, if you want to talk about neurodivergence, I know you've had a bit of a stressful day, so today may not be the best one to ask you to join me, and that's perfectly fine. Um, Something that is, I don't know how unique it is, but it is something that I enjoy about myself and my younger daughter is our lives are a musical. We both remember music like it's right at the tip of our brains. And I can come up with a song to go with almost any situation going on. You know, like it's just amazing. Um, I listen to a lot of Christian music. But over the years, I've listened to all kinds of music. And so there's times when it'll be some sort of a heavy metal rock song, or it'll be a 1980s hair band, or, like that kind of thing. And sometimes it'll be a hymn from a long time ago that I remember. But music just really brings out a lot of my emotion and a lot of my memory. Um, so when I think of places that I've lived a lot of different places. And I will think about, oh, where was I living when that song came out? Okay, so this would have been between this space and this space. Um, so I was living in northern Alberta when the song Hey Mickey came out. That would have been about grade, I would have been about grade, oh boy, about grade 4 or so when that song came out. It was number one on our radio station for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it was just, it was huge. So I can recognize, okay, so if it's around the time that that song came out, then this is about how old I was. This is where I was living. These are the people that I knew. And that really brings out a lot of emotion and memory and that kind of thing for me. Um, what is it that brings out your emotion and your memories? And is it possible for you to conjure good memories versus bad memories? Um, for years, when my girls were little, they would ask me, Mommy, can you tell me a story about a happy or a funny story from when you were a little girl? I couldn't think of any. I could not think of anything. Now, enough years have passed by, and I'm not in such a stressful position with my girls being little. Um, I've done a lot of healing and therapy and that kind of stuff. So I can think of some funny stories from when I was a child. But for years, I just couldn't. I could not think of anything other than serious or scary or sad or upsetting things from my childhood. That's really a hard way to live, is to only have those types of memories. So working at being able to remember things that are positive or fun or beautiful, those are, I think that's important to do. Is there anybody else who wants to chat? I have no problem with sticking around. Otherwise, I am going to head off. I have an art sale to go to for tomorrow, and I'm going to be going on my first YouTube walk around tonight. I was thinking at about 8:30 or so it's going to be at least a little cooler. It is absolutely roasting hot today. So yeah, just let me know. Throw up a 1. No, not a 1. Throw up a 2 if you think we're finished. What do you think? Nobody's saying anything. Okay, I tend to be a little bit, okay, yeah, I tend to be a little bit impatient. And I agree, Crystal. I think we're good. I think we're done. And I think I will see you later this evening when we go for a walk. Have an awesome evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.